is titled Batman Forever. It came out on June 16th, 1995. Written by Akiva Goldsmith and Janet and Lee Batchelor. Directed by Joel Schumacher, starring the main cast of Val Kilmer as Batman and Bruce Wayne, Chris O'Donnell as Robin and Dick Grayson, Tommy Lee Jones as Harvey Dent Two-Face, Jim Carrey as Edward Nygma and the Riddler, Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase Meridian, Michael Gough as Alfred Pennyworth, and some fun extras here. Drew Barrymore as Sugar and Debbie Mazar as Spice. Jon Favreau as Bruce Wayne's assistant. Did you spot Johnny Favs in this movie?
I think I did spot Jon Favs.
Oh, we'll
Jon
get to
Favreau.
that. Yeah,
Wow.
Favreau is very hidden in this movie, but he's there. And Renee Auberginois as Arkham Asylum's Dr. Burton, who was named after Tim Burton, and Renee Auberginois was first featured in the very first episode of Batman the Animated Series on Leather Wings as Dr. March. And then also music by Elliot Goldenthal. So we've talked about some of these people already in our Batman and Robin review, like Elliot Goldenthal, for example. I can't say Goldenthal. That's very difficult. Goldenthal. I want to go American with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out our Batman and Robin review to hear our creds about him. But the music, I've always, like I said last time, I've always dug the music in this movie. It's not the best, but it's got its place, you know? Yeah. I like those types of those bits in the music there. And I had this soundtrack, I listened to this soundtrack so much as a kid. Obviously, Kiss from a Rose and U2, Hold Me, Kiss Me, Thrill Me.
Thrill Me, touch me.
Yeah, do stuff to me.
Phone me.
Don't diddy me.
No. No, don't.
But yeah, Kiss from a Rose, I find this really interesting because the song is so popular because of this movie, and the music video is even him in front of the bat signal, like singing on the roof. And what's crazy to me is that Kiss from a Rose, Joel Schumacher heard the song and was like, I love it and I want to feature it in my upcoming movie. It's a Batman movie. So Seal was like, fuck yeah, let's go, let's do this. So Joel Schumacher wanted it as the love theme between Chase Meridian and Batman. Yeah? But couldn't fit it in, couldn't find a place for it. The music had already been written by Elliot Goldenthal, so he's like, all right, I'll put it in the credits at least, Seal. And Seal's like, all right, cool, that's fine. But it's not even the first song. When the movie ends, it's U2. And
it's
then
not Seal, is it?
Kiss from a Rose is like a little bit of an add-on. Once U2's whole song is done, they stick in Kiss from a Rose, and it's like the first, I don't know, minute, and then it just fades out. And that little minute in the credits, plus his music video, just blew up, and the song became so popular.
But I think, like, back then, radio play and music videos in general would have had much more of an impact. So
true.
I know that I think just the sort of the whole package there just blew it up. People just heard it. I remember that U2 song was on a lot. Like it was all over the place. And it was exciting. I thought that they were two good songs. Again, Batman, Kiss from a Rose. It's a weird
it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. If it was Poison Ivy in the next movie, would have made sense.
Yeah,
right?
And would have sucked. But it would have. Yeah, it would have made sense.
I'm surprised that this song became so big off of like a minute just in the credits. You know what I mean? Like it's not connected to the film other than that.
That Bryan Adams song from Robin Hood was at number one for like half a year or something, wasn't it? That was another one. And then Wet, Wet, Wet with Four Weddings and a Funeral or something. Like it was weird. Yeah. Like movies and songs really.
That Robin Hood one was another
time.
favorite of mine as a kid. The how does that go now? Why can't I remember? I used to remember it all the time.
Look into my eyes.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff in the 90s for sure.
Yeah, it's hot stuff. Hot stuff.
Everything I do it for you.
So writer Akiva Goldsmith was also credited in our Batman and Robin review, but writers Janet and Lee Batchelor penned the Batman franchise for the first and only time. The writing pair also wrote the screenplays for films and TV such as Pompeii, The Equalizer Season 1, and Batman Forever, the video game. There wasn't much else in their creds. Okay. So they kind of came in and this was like their big claim to fame as far as I could see on their IMDb.
Substantial claim to fame.
Yeah, unless you like the movie Pompeii, which I've never seen.
Maybe they were awful people.
Maybe, or still are, because I think
maybe they still are awful people.
Director Joel Schumacher was credited previously on our review of Batman and Robin, as well as his body count. I didn't confirm last time, but his body count, he claims, was over 20,000. That's insane to me.
Yeah,
I mean, but he said, as a gay man, that's not bragging because basically men are more up for it. In a matter of words, I'm paraphrasing, but that is what he implied. So that's still a lot of people, no matter what gender they are. 20,000 people, and how old was he when he died? Like, that's crazy.
I was thinking recently, the tiredness I felt at New York Comic Con. If you'd added on to that. Like spending time with, I was there for like 3 days. So in that time, I'm guessing he would have about 12 men.
Yeah.
I would have been a shell, a complete shell. It just wouldn't have worked. And he's a director. That's an intense life. I don't believe him. I think he's full of it.
Well, he's dead now, so we can't find out for sure.
That's true. That is true, yeah.
Maybe he died from exhaustion. I don't know.
Maybe. Just tired. It's like,
20,000. All right, I'm done.
That's it. That's it. Good way to go. R.I.P. Joel.
Yeah.
If I disappointed them in any way, then I really want to apologize, because it wasn't my intention. My intention was just to entertain them.
Okay, our utility belt of fun facts here as always. We've got quite a few, but I'll try and go through them as quickly and as effectively as possible. A Batman Forever director's cut exists, and Warner Brothers still refuses to release it. The cut explores more of Harvey Dent's backstory, as well as Bruce's past and the forever connection in the title with him being Batman. There's even a scene that envisions a giant man-bat flying towards him and embracing him in the Batcave. Have you ever seen any of these cutscenes?
No, not really. I haven't seen the Embracing Man-Bat. I want to. It's
a 3-hour cut, the director's cut.
Oof.
It's a lot of Batman Forever, but I'm up for it.
Yeah.
So this version of the film has leaked, however, and certain screenings have taken place over the years.
Kevin Smith loves it, doesn't he?
Kevin Smith loves it. He even did a screening at his cinema. But you can't say it's Batman Forever director's cut because there's a whole thing there because Warner Brothers obviously hasn't officially released it.
Master Bruce.
Batman.
So this is the first film to explain why Bruce Wayne dresses up as a bat, which I've always found interesting as a kid. I was like, oh, so that's why. And it's not far from the comics, him falling into the cave, seeing the bat, being frightened. I mean, they even do that in Batman Begins, don't they?
They do. Yeah, they did that again. Yeah.
What do you think about this, all of that, like the exploration of Bruce's past again and kind of echoing, back into Robin and connecting those two dots?
Well, I might have to go back a little bit. I think it was, I guess it worked in parallel with Robin's story. As Batman fans as we are, I guess I roll my eyes a little bit when the flashbacks happen because they generally don't tend to reveal an awful lot of new information. Like I know about the character,
right?
But I thought they were effective in this. The big bat is cool, and when it appears and scares Jim Carrey at the end, that's good. But I'm sure we'll get to that. Yeah, this big head. It worked. I thought this film really came to life, and I didn't expect this. At the circus scene, when Robin comes into it, that was when I really felt like invested, and I didn't expect that at all. When Chris O'Donnell's name, when all the names are flying at the beginning, and you've got, you know, Val Kilmer, and you've got, well, they're sort of flying towards the screen, Jim Carrey, and then it's like Chris O'Donnell. It's almost like it should have just fallen instead of flied. But
without the safety of a net.
Yeah, I like the circus scene, and I like that link that Batman has with him. I thought they were a good pairing, better than him and Chase Meridian, who's another woman who, you know, is just there to get kidnapped at the end.
But she's also the worst therapist in the world because
she's terrible.
All she wants to do is shag Batman to get him as a patient.
Yeah.
And that's mental to me. It's just like, I've done my research, like you like skin type vinyl and a whip and like black rubber and rubbing his bat nips. Like,
yeah,
that rooftop scene is full of innuendos and it's sexy. Like, as a kid, I was just like,
yes, filthy.
All right. Is this what therapy's like?
Black rubber.
Try fireman, less to take off.
Her dress is not appropriate for work at all.
No, it's not.
No. But it made me think there's going to be a whole host of like high society women that know Bruce Wayne is Batman because he's told all of them.
Yes.
He's fallen in love with all of them. He's told all of them. So maybe there should be like a Netflix show about the vigilante Lothario. And all these women can speak out about how they were seduced by Bruce Wayne because, you know, he used his dark past.
And then they talk about like the areas of the Batcave that they've seen. Like, well, I've seen his giant penny. Well, I've seen the giant T-Rex. You know, he showed me that.
That's it, yeah.
Alfred brought me my favorite drink.
We went down the big pipe together.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, that was it. The big pipe is interesting. It was really long. Really long.
That scene cracks me up. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. As a kid, I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
He's got like a tunnel that goes all the way from Gotham City to Wayne Manor.
It is cool.
And he's in a pod and like he's got the face projection of Alfred. All of that is awesome. Very, very spy sort of espionage feel to it.
Pre-Iron Man kind of stuff.
Pre-Iron Man stuff. And Johnny Fabs is in this movie.
He is.
But if you think about it, what happens if Bruce Wayne is in his office and he's in a meeting and someone comes in and he's like, please take a chair. And then suddenly he's gone. And the person is like, hello? Where'd you go?
Yeah, that would be confusing. And what if it got stuck halfway? Like, he is in big trouble. It's a long pipe. We've all been on water slides where it stopped. Like, he could just, he's like that.
Alfred! You're gonna have to come get me, Alfred.
You're gonna have to lube up this tube, Alfred. Come on.
Alfred has to crawl through the tube with a torch. I'm almost there, so I'm about 3 miles away.
Crime doesn't have time for me to be stuck in this pipe. Alfred! Alfred!
He's like, I really need the bathroom, Alfred. Hurry up.
Just go in the pipe. But it could have happened. It's a very long pipe.
Yeah, it's a long pipe. Like, how did he get past all of the building planning and all of that stuff, you know?
I know. But, you know, he's a billionaire. They don't have to, they can wrangle these plannings, can't they?
I guess so.
They don't have to worry about planning.
That tube's got to go around the subway. It's all over the place. I'd love to see like a layout of that tube and what it looks like.
Oh, that would be so cool just to get to work like that. Like, you just wake up.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Kiss your family goodbye. Oh, God. Not sure if I can keep this up. Can I just do the train? Yeah.
Someone get me a chair. Oh, no. He goes again.
Chair.
Alfred.
I saw the signal, sir. All is ready.
So some more fun facts here. This film marks the first appearance of Arkham Asylum and Wayne Enterprises in a live-action Batman film. I thought it was cool seeing Arkham, for the first time and like incorporating those characters. And obviously,
cool.
We've got the first live-action appearance of characters like Two-Face in this movie. We've obviously seen live-action versions of Riddler and Robin in Batman 66, but as far as the movie world is concerned, excluding Batman 66, this would be the first appearance of Riddler.
In the new one.
He's okay. Let's just talk about Jim Carrey for a moment as the Riddler, because as a kid I loved him. As an adult, I don't like him. I will be honest.
That's very interesting that you should say that, because he still cracked me up. I loved Jim Carrey as you did, and I think I still have some affection,
nostalgia for him, right?
And he still made me laugh a lot. I was watching it with my kids, and they said, "God, he's really annoying." And my wife could never. She never liked Jim Carrey,
right?
And what it made me think is, I get why Tommy Lee Jones would have hated him.
Yeah,
because he would have been like that all the time. All the time.
Well, fun fact
and it
here,
would have
Ben,
driven you insane.
We've got Jim Carrey did not get along with Tommy Lee Jones, who told Carrey once that he did not like him and couldn't sanction his buffoonery, which I think is just an amazing thing for Tommy Lee Jones to say. And apparently the very next day after that took place, they filmed the scene in which Riddler forms an alliance with Two-Face in his lair. Which
brilliant.
That is brilliant if that is true. Like, imagine having like someone being like, "I really don't like you and I think you're an idiot," and the next day being like, "All right, let's act,"
Woo! I guess it worked for Tommy Lee Jones. I did hear Jim Carrey told a story about, I think he went to a restaurant while they were filming, and when he got there, someone said, "Oh, your screen partner or whoever, Tommy Lee Jones is back there at the restaurant." So Jim Carrey went up to him and Tommy Lee Jones hugged him and just said, "I hate you." He did not want to spend any more time with him at all.
No, he didn't. He really didn't like him. And I also like Tommy Lee Jones. He's ridiculous in this movie. Like, I don't know the choices that he made were because he said in interviews, "My kid's favorite comic book character is Two-Face." What kid what kid in the world is like, "My favorite comic book character is Two-Face"?
That's a weird one.
He's just probably like, "My kid liked Batman and I thought, let's give it a go."
Yeah.
And Tommy Lee Jones spoke to Jack Nicholson and also kind of like mirrored a lot of the eccentric, because Nicholson was like, "Just do whatever the hell you want." Like, but that works.
I can't imagine Jack would give like constructive advice about that after the Joker. Just do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Like, he's not gonna, weird.
But it works for Jack to do that. It works.
Of course, he's Jack.
Yeah, exactly. To be the Joker and ridiculous. Two-Face, very serious character. The duality and stuff. Like, he, as Two-Face, he's basically a cackling Joker with, like, this weird duality. Like, he refers to himself as us all the time, and I always find that weird. Like Venom. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
we don't like that, or like that sounds good to us, or we're two minds of the subject.
There's
Things
a lot
like
of
that.
us, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's a bizarre performance, and because he's so all the time, like the duality doesn't quite work either. Like, you lose. Because I think at some points he was talking as the other, and the makeup is ridiculous. Like, the perfect half line. It's like he's just painted it on, which maybe he did, but it's it's weird. He's just not really a character. He's just there's just not a lot there.
There's not a lot there. Yeah,
not a lot of motivation. Just like he's just a man. He's just a crazy man.
He's just a crazy man. You're right. There's like two moments in this movie where his Harvey Dent serious side comes out, especially at the end when he's like, "Yes, you've always been a good friend, Bruce." Like, before he like flips the coin.
Always been a good friend, Bruce.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, there's the Harvey Dent, but why haven't we had that throughout the whole movie instead of this cackling maniac that's like always just making puns all the time and referring to himself as us?
When we open that safe, we'll have everything we ever wanted.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't get the choices,
particularly against Jim Carrey.
I know.
Why would you choose to go wild against Jim Carrey? Like, you're not going to win. He's going to outwild you every time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, perhaps if you'd had a much straighter Two-Face against this Riddler, then that could have worked really well. But as it was, they were a very odd combination.
They weren't yin and yang. They were just a whole lot of yang.
Yeah. So much yang.
The subtitle to this episode: so much yang.
Forever. Too much yang.
All right, that's decided.
Okay, that's weird. I like it. Yeah.
So, some more facts here. The Batmobile was usually driven by stunt drivers, but Chris O'Donnell insisted on driving it himself in the joyride scene, and he crashed it into a curb and dented the fender.
Oh, cheeky Chris.
What an idiot.
He was such an asset to the movie, though. I'm sure they didn't mind. You know,
oh, yeah. I mean, without him, this movie, would have sucked.
Star. Batmobile?
Okay, where do I rank this Batmobile?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we've had this conversation before. Maybe we haven't.
I think we might have.
But I rank this one fairly high. Yeah, like my Batmobile. Are we talking only live action, right?
Yeah, live action. Yeah.
Okay, so live action. Just from I don't know if this is the same list as I given before, but from my feelings now, it's always going to be Burton's as number one. That's just by far the best Batmobile.
Yeah,
by a long shot. Then I'd throw in Batman 66. I love that Batmobile a lot as number two. And then this one, I think might be number three for me. It's
really,
yeah.
Wow.
I like this Batmobile. I don't know why. There's just something. It fits in this universe. I don't mind all the lights. I really don't. I think it just adds that extra layer of like the vibe this movie's trying to go with. The giant fins at the back don't make sense, but I like them.
No, they don't. I think it definitely fits the vibe, but I'm not a huge fan of the vibe, so I don't think I'm a huge fan of the car. Fair. It just looked a bit silly. Like, as you said, the stuff at the back, it was really impractical. Whereas the Batmobile before it, it's just perfect. It's just, it's slick. Yeah. It's not practical, but at the same time, it doesn't stand out as utterly ridiculous. Whereas this did, and it drove up a wall, which is, really silly.
One of my favorite scenes as a kid was the driving up the wall scene.
Yeah, but you've grown up now.
Well, yeah, I've grown up now, but I still love this movie. However, I've only recently wondered, how the fuck did he get down from the rooftop with the Batmobile once he got up there?
That's true. Amazon Trivia said there was meant to be a rooftop chase. Apparently after that,
really?
But they cut it because of the budget. So maybe I don't know what he did. I'm not sure.
Because he propelled up there with like a grappling hook.
Yeah.
And he can't do that going down,
Alfred, I'm stuck on a roof. Oh, not again, Master Wayne. You're so irresponsible. You were stuck in the pipe last week and now you're stuck on a roof.
I would love that too. If he thinks he's gotten away, because obviously Two-Face looks up and he's like, you got away. Yeah. But then Two-Face is like, hang on a minute, he's stuck up there, and he just takes the lift. He's just like, gotcha, bang.
Yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, it's a bit silly. But, he'll get drive-through, so...
He'll get drive-through.
Again, I guess, I know it's establishing the tone of the whole film, but it's just a bit...
Okay, so I figured out why I like this movie so much, yeah?
Please tell me.
Just a backstory here. As a kid, I was obsessed with this movie. It was the perfect time for it to come out for this,
How old were you, out of interest, when
95,
this came out?
So in 95, when this came out, I was 8 years old, something like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm quite a lot older than you. So I would have been 15, which is...
Yeah, because I was born 87. So 5, 6,
so
7,
I
8.
was 81.
Yeah.
81. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I I was getting to the point where it felt silly. I guess, at that age. Whereas no, I get at your age, when then
yes,
that would have been like the best thing
And I
ever.
had the Burton movies first, and I loved those, but obviously they were dark, and some things used to scare me about those movies because they were just a lot different than the usual, like, light-hearted comic book stuff that I was used to seeing. So that's why Batman the Animated Series is a perfect blend, and always has been. But the movie, it came out, I loved it. I watched it so much, and I had all of the toys and anything I could get my hands on that was Batman Forever, I would always want. Yeah. And I watched it so much that my parents, as a punishment, would take the VHS tape away from me in order to punish me and tell me,
"That's good.
You will get this back when you do better at this, or you learn your lesson, or whatever it was."
Strong consequences. I love it.
It fucking worked, man. It really did.
I bet it did. Yeah.
So, and I love the Batcave. I love Wayne Manor. I just love everything about the sort of the sets of this movie. Besides Gotham, I think is eccentric, but there's certain aspects I really love about this. So, because of all of that, that's always, the nostalgia's always carried with me. But recently, I was like, why do I love this movie so much? Is it because it explores Bruce Wayne's, like, why am I a bat and everything? Because that was the first time I'd ever seen it on screen. Kind of. I realized, because I am a massive James Bond fan, this is a Roger Moore James Bond movie.
Yes.
As a Batman movie.
It is.
It's got quips, innuendos. Yeah. Batman looks fucking cool in this movie. He does. Val Kilmer looks good in that suit.
Inappropriately dressed women
that are like just horned up and just, and the part of the plot in some way, because they had to make it like that back then in the 90s.
Batman's a bit lecherous.
He refers
to them as chicks.
Yes.
The girl. Chicks are the girl. Yeah.
Cool gadgets, cool cars, stunts with the vehicles, like eccentric villains as well, like over-the-top Roger Moore type villains that are cackling or evil geniuses or whatever you want, and it's very Roger Moore Batman, and I've always liked Roger Moore James Bond. So, and also Roger Moore was the Saint, Val Kilmer played the Saint in the movie. There's all of these connections that are coming through.
Yeah.
So, that's
it
the
makes
reason.
Sense. It does. I get it. I do understand it. When you put it like that, spot on.
Well, I wish I could say that my interest in you was purely professional.
You're trying to get under my cape, Doctor?
A girl can't live by psychoses alone.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
I think, for me, when I was 8, that would have been Batman 89. That was the first Batman movie I saw at the cinema.
Right.
Having
was
been
2.
stuck in. Yeah, you too. And then Returns, they were my favourite movies. So this one, I just remember leaving thinking, yeah, it was all right.
Right.
But no more than that, really.
So what is it
you
do and don't like about this movie, then?
I think, the whole opening thing, I don't like Two-Face. I don't think he's a good villain. The opening felt a bit silly compared to the others. I wondered when the security guard flies down on the vat full of acid.
Yeah.
Do you think he warned anyone that there was still a load of acid in there? Or the cops are like, oh, what's in here? Ah!
It's boiling acid!
Yeah. It's water. You had to say it was boiling acid. I thought that whole opening, I'm not sure about the tone of the overall thing. The characters were a little weak. I did like Jim Carrey. I think he's probably the thing I like the most, just because I really like Jim Carrey, and he just got to go absolutely nuts. But there's just a lot of kind of, like stuff that I think now they try and ground superhero movies a little bit more in reality. Like the science has some rooting, whereas you've got stuff like there's that party where I think Bruce Wayne meets Ed Nigma and it's doing very well. And I wrote this down. And he says, that's right. He's saying he's putting images into people's brains, and Bruce Wayne says, but what's to stop you extracting images from the brain? It's like, well, science? Like, you can't just take stuff out of people's brains because you want to. It's very silly.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's fine. Like, I didn't walk away and hate it. I just didn't it just didn't really do much at all. I thought the circus scene was good, as I said. I like the way they shot the performers. When they cut to Chris O'Donnell, he's clearly not doing it. It's a bit silly, but his whole origin story was pretty cool. So there's stuff I like, but I don't know. Does that explain it? That was wishy-washy.
No, I get you. It's for
Yeah.
me, it's one of those things where, it's silly and it's ridiculous. Like I said, if you know what it is going into it and you have the nostalgia, I think that's probably what helps a lot in liking it.
Yeah.
But overall, you make so many points where it's like, it is ridiculous. Like, I would have loved if they just cut out the entire brainwave thing from the movie and have Edward Nygma is this, like, on the edge, crazy, like, almost serial killer that is pushed over the edge by Bruce Wayne, and then it becomes his fixation to be like, okay, well, I want to take down Bruce Wayne, and I need help doing that, so I've got to go to Harvey Dent, Two-Face, who wants Batman to die, and together we'll take down our two most hated enemies. I'll help him kill Batman, and he can help me kill Bruce Wayne, you know? And then they find out, oh shit, actually, they're the same person, and that would have been maybe a different way to do it.
Would have worked very well.
Yeah.
That could have worked. But it's just full of pretty dumb stuff. Like just things the characters do. Like with there's a part where Chase Meridian is shown the Riddler's notes, and she's like, he's clearly a murderous psychopath. It's not really. He's just like really creative. I kind of like his notes. I'm not quite sure how you get that from that.
Yeah.
And then like at the end, Batman sort of is cool with Robin potentially killing Two-Face. He says, like, a man's got to go his own way. Like, no. So, if you got to do what you got to do. No, I'm sorry. Batman wouldn't be okay with that. And then he kills Two-Face. He kills him. He's like, okay, he's on this, like, very precarious looking beam. I'm going to lob a load of coins at him. I guess he'll fall off, and I won't save him, but I will save the other two. It's it's kind of weird.
It is, and that is taken directly from Batman the Animated Series. In fact, there's quite a few things from this film that's taken from Batman the Animated Series.
Enlighten me.
The Mad Hatter creating a mind manipulation device whilst working at Wayne Tech, obviously replaced by Edward Nygma in this film, but same plot entirely. The many silver dollars tossed into the air to confuse and defeat Two-Face is the same ending of Two-Face Part 2. That's exactly how Batman takes down Two-Face in that episode, except for he doesn't let him drop to his death.
It
psychologically messes with him, and that's it.
Yes, I think I remember that. It's just too much.
Yes.
You can't handle it. There's so many coins!
But that makes sense, at least. You know what I mean?
It does,
to, mentally disarm him. Because he's so fragile, obviously, in his mental state. And then finally, the way that the Graysons meet their end was shot very similarly to the same scenes in Robin's Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah, which was good.
Yeah, you like obviously you like the circus scene, which is interesting. I don't mind it. I think that it's funny that he asks Chase Meridian to go rock climbing. She's like, I've already met someone. And he's like, that was fast. And it's just so funny how he like goes cold to her after that, you know, like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to fuck you as Batman now. It's going to be a lot harder.
Well, this is going to be impractical, isn't it? Not impossible, but impractical.
And he yells out, Harvey, I'm Batman, in the crowd. And no one hears him, but everyone could hear him earlier. Like, Chase could hear him talking in the crowd as they were being like the same type of volume.
Yes, when I say the circus scene, I mean the Grayson stuff. The other stuff is weird. Again, like, Bruce Wayne goes and kicks everybody's ass and everyone's watching.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's skilled in martial arts, isn't he?
And rich. Hang on a minute.
Hey, but let's go home. Phew, thank God that's over. That's really odd.
It is odd. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Robin's all like, you should have revealed that you were Batman. It's like, he did. He did reveal he was
yelled
Batman.
It very loudly.
He told everybody. He yelled it. And then he went and fought that he did.
Several times.
That.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Drew Barrymore. I remember having a big crush on Drew Barrymore at the time. Although I was wondering, like,
and she looks great in
she looks
this
great.
movie. Yeah,
Was she? I guess she wasn't huge star at the time.
No,
maybe
neither,
this was
neither
her
of them
kind
were.
of
Yeah,
rise. Yeah, and Debbie Mazet as well. She's been in a lot of stuff, hasn't she?
yeah, she has. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it was. Yeah.
Do you want to know where? Do you want to know where Johnny Fab shows up?
Yes.
So in the beginning, right after the intro sequence, they go to Wayne Tech, right? And Bruce Wayne walks in with all of his entourage. Johnny Fabs is in that entourage.
Oh, wow.
And he is like Bruce Wayne's. I think he's Bruce Wayne's bodyguard. I mean, which is very Tony Stark, you know. Happy Hogan.
Very happy.
Or it's maybe just someone that's like in his entourage. I don't know exactly why he's there, but he has lines in the director's cut. But they obviously didn't make the final movie. But if you see, there's certain shots where Bruce is talking to Edward Nygma or the other guy, the head of Wayne Tech.
Yeah.
And if you look behind Bruce Wayne, you'll see Johnny Fab's face, just like clear as day. And and when I was watching, I was like, what the fuck? Is that Jon Favreau? You know what I mean? Like an Easter egg of like a weird little cameo.
Bioremediation, alternative fuels. Ah, Mr. Wayne, look at that time. Perhaps we should get to R&D as soon as possible.
He sees the sequence of the tunnel with the face projection. He's like, I'm gonna fucking steal that for Iron Man.
That's what he was doing. Just stealing it all.
Just stealing ideas.
Having it all. That's what they do. Yeah, that's cool. I'll go back and watch that scene again. But only that scene.
Just that one. Fair.
I do feel they could have played on the word dick a lot more. There was not enough, Batman, maybe Riddler at the end. He's got to choose between Chase and Robin. So he could have said, like, are you going to save Chase or throw it all away for Dick? Like that kind of thing.
Joel Schumacher's like, Dick, go for the Dick. 20,000 of them at least.
I did. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're almost on empty. Why don't you fill it up in the garage? There's not a gas station around here for miles.
Dick!
So Michael Keaton, before deciding not to don the cape and cowl for a third time, met with Joel Schumacher and eventually declined to join the project after deciding that he did not like the direction in which Schumacher was taking the film. And also, the same reason for another character or another actor for the role of Robin was Leonardo DiCaprio, who turned it down for the same reason, which was interesting. Yeah.
Hey, he would have been all right, you know.
Yeah, he would have been decent. I mean, we talked about Chris O'Donnell in the last one. He's just too old. Like, he gets adopted in this and he's like 26. You know?
He is. Yeah.
He's way too old.
Yeah, it would be like adopting me or you. It's like, what's the point?
You have to stay here.
He's old.
No, I don't actually. I'm an adult.
And, I guess he doesn't have a massive amount to work with, but he's just sort of cocky, generic guy, isn't he? There's not a lot really.
Yeah, everything he says when he first comes to Wayne Manor is like this just sort of like annoying bratty teenager, like meh. Like his parents just died. You know, his whole family just died in front of him. And instead of being like, I'm broken inside, he's just like, hang out at a lot of biker bars, Bruce. And it's like, what?
Yeah, if he'd been like John Connor 12 kind of age, that would have worked. But as it is, it's like he does that thing with the towels in front of Alfred, which is really like just rude. It's like, why don't you get a job? Stop like rinsing towels with your feet. It's weird. Yeah. Oh, and then he does his kind of he waits for the Batcave door to open and then does some acrobatics into it. But he wastes so much time doing those. Like, just jump off the stairs and run in. Don't do 6 flips. And, like, you've wasted at least 5 seconds. You could have just run to the door, you idiot.
It's shame on Alfred as well for not closing that door. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just let this bookcase that's clearly a secret doorway close very slowly.
Secret door, no one around. But again, it's and it's just it all just happens so quickly, doesn't it? Like, he
It
gets
does.
into the Batcave, so it's like, I don't think you can help me. Okay, you can help me, and you can kill Two-Face. It's fine. It's just the
They
pace.
have to pace it forward, but it does happen very quickly.
Yeah.
Like some other things that were very quick and kind of blink and you miss it is that courtroom sequence that we see on TV where Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face.
Yeah.
Now, I've always liked that aspect of it because it's even naming Boss Maroni as the one who throws the acid in his face, which is the guy who does it in the comics and a lot of iterations. But where it falls apart for me is you see in that news sequence that Batman in broad daylight just runs out of the courtroom crowd to try and stop the acid.
Yeah.
What's Batman doing in the courtroom in full Batman costume during the day?
He's gone to just sit there and watch the case unfold.
He does that during the days.
Yeah. Everyone else is sat there, Harvey Dent's family, and then Batman. How you doing? Okay.
He had jury duty like everyone else.
Yeah, that's it. Squeaking rubber.
He's on the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, and Batman of the jury.
Oh, that would make your heart sink, wouldn't it, if Batman was on the jury? Like, there's no way I'm getting away with this.
He's just looking at you, like piercing through you with those eyes. Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
He's lying.
Yeah. Guilty. Not yet, Batman. We haven't had the case. Like, there's no evidence been presented yet. It was him. No, just sit down. Jesus.
We need Batman on Diddy's trial.
Yes, we definitely do.
Did he do it, Batman?
No. Oh, God, Batman, you're confusing everybody. Yeah, he'd be good.
Harvey Dent, once Gotham's district attorney, was horribly scarred by underworld kingpin Boss Maroni. Although Batman tried to save him, Dent's left brain damage transformed him into a violent criminal.
So a couple final fun facts here. Val Kilmer learned he was the new Batman whilst filming in a Batcave in Africa for the film The Ghost in the Darkness, which is an interesting little parallel there.
Yeah.
He and Joel Schumacher clashed during filming, and Schumacher described Kilmer as childish and impossible. And according to Schumacher, Kilmer refused to talk to him for 2 weeks. And even in his autobiography, I'm Your Huckleberry, Kilmer does not even mention Schumacher by name when discussing this movie.
Oh, God. He's, like, notoriously difficult, I think.
Kilmer.
A lot of people have said, yeah, he's a tricky
Interesting.
customer.
Right. He's a good...
Yeah.
What do you think of Kilmer in this movie as Bruce Wayne and Batman?
Yeah, he's fine. He's very slick. I don't know. I just kind of go back to what Christian Bale did. I think his Batman Bruce Wayne is just the best combination. I don't like his Batman voice, but I think his Bruce Wayne is brilliant. And Keaton as well. Like, they're just different.
Yeah.
In this, because of the one-liners, it merges them so they're very similar. I don't think there's a huge difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman in this. And I think I think Bruce Wayne should be more of an act than Batman is.
Yes.
Like, Batman's the real, that's his real identity. Bruce Wayne is the disguise.
Which that was Kevin Conroy's approach from day one, which is why it works so well.
Yeah, so I thought he was all right. He was better than Clooney. What did you think? You like him?
I do, yeah. I like him quite a bit, actually. I agree with you that his Bruce Wayne and Batman, there is too many similarities. I do like his Batman voice quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's like Keaton, it's just kind of shifting into like a darker, like lower tone without being that like raspy, I need to clear my throat, or, just it doesn't. I need a Batman to not sound like he's like a creature from the deep when he's speaking. And I mean that in a way where, like, if I was in a dark alley and Batman appeared and he's just like, drop everything, and I would just be like, that's not your real voice.
Yeah, you're putting it on.
Whereas this one, he kind of like, he has that like, bats aren't rodents, Dr. Meridian. I like that direction, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's a bit stabbier and darker and sharper without being like,
Bats aren't rodents, Dr. Meridian.
There are definitely points where Kilmer is trying to do a bit of a Clark Kent thing, like when he knocks down Dr. Chase Meridian's door, and he's like, I was just and I was and he's like a bumbling idiot, you know, and I'm like, that's very Clark Kent. And a few other things. One thing annoys the hell out of me. It's such a tiny thing, but I have to mention it, is when he invites Chase to the circus.
Yeah.
He goes, "Tell me, doctor, do you like the circus?" And he says it in like this lisp, like a circus. And it really, I'm like, did you not have another take? Was that the only take? Or did he say circus every single time? I don't know why it winds me up. I'm like, why did they leave that?
That must have been when he wasn't talking to Joel Schumacher. And Joel Schumacher was like, we need to do that again. And he'd gone. He'd gone to his trailer. That was it. The circus?
The circus?
Tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus?
I mean, Alfred, we haven't spoken about him much. I don't think this is his finest hour, but he's great in this. You know, he's just the best Alfred.
He'll let anyone open the door on Halloween, apparently. Two grown men who are clearly wearing masks. He's just like, oh, come in, donk. Like, yeah, Alfred's, you know, he's sweet.
He's sweet and he's nice. I do like how he comforts Robin when he's like, broken wings will mend again, you know, and Robin's will fly again. I like that.
And Robin just rinses out a towel and then flips out of the room. Ooh, look at what I can do. Can you do this with your legs? Yeah. Look how I hang up my washing. I'm going to go skateboarding. Shut up.
I'm 29.
I don't need to be adopted. I'm 36 years old. Come on.
I'm balding.
Yeah, that's it. Robin is a dumb name. Like, he says, like, he's talking about why he got the name Robin.
Yeah.
And he says his brother, I think, he said, I flew like a robin. It's like, wouldn't his brother say, like, you flew like a hawk or an eagle?
Yeah.
Like something cooler?
Yeah, than a
like,
robin.
Oh, you flapped over here like a robin.
Very light and took your time.
Yeah. He'd be like, oh, thanks. I thought I was more like, cool. But, yeah.
Maybe anyway. Batman, you know, like threw him like a bat.
Like a bat? Like, yeah.
Like a bat out of hell? You ever hear that
I
one?
saved your life. I'm not, like, weak. I did fine. Whatever. Robin is.
I need a name. Batboy, Nightwing. I don't know. What do you think? What's a good sidekick name?
How about Dick Grayson, college student?
Screw you. I just saved your life. You owe me.
Other lines I love in this, yeah? There's one random little line that Two-Face does that I have to mention because it becomes almost like part of my vernacular now, where when Two-Face ambushes and crashes that party that Riddler's hosting as Edward Nygma, and Batman is like, I have to change quickly, Alfred. He slides down the ladder, opens up the boot. And I love how Alfred says, you know, maybe they'll take me back at Buckingham Palace when Robin tries to do it. I liked all of that. But there is a sequence where after Batman jumps through the window, another cool sequence, takes down all the goons.
That is cool.
Two-Face runs into the elevator, yeah? And as the elevator doors close, he tilts his head and goes, hee-ya! And I don't know why it has stayed with me, but I just sometimes in my life, if something happens that makes me like feel like, oh, I got the best of that situation, I go, yeah, and I do like this weird thing. It's so stupid, but this is how much this movie has ingrained itself.
In.
Yeah,
this is it. It's those little things. But for me, it was the Batman will say, that whole thing.
Yeah,
that has stayed in my mind since I saw it.
Batman, you say? Coming for you. I'm counting on it.
That light up costume he has in that sequence is fun too. I've always liked that. Like, I like the Riddler when he has. I know. I like the Riddler when he has that jacket on, you know, and like the bowler hat. I don't like the onesie. I think the onesie looks a bit naff. If I'm honest,
it's a bit pervy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like you see, there's a bulge right on a question mark, and you're like, I don't need to question.
Bulge on a question mark.
Another subtitle for this episode.
There it is. Yeah, the bulge on a question mark. Why is there a Statue of Liberty in Gotham City?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a very good question.
Yeah,
I don't
France
know.
gifted it to New York and Gotham. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's a bit of an odd one.
I've never understood that because Gotham is always supposed to be like parts. It's supposed to be in New Jersey in DC universe, and it's supposed to have like a Detroit, meets London feel to it. A fictional city, obviously, not Statue of Liberty and like the Empire State Building or
with Gotham on it.
Yeah.
That was odd. Sorry, I just remembered that.
It's true.
Like,
it's true. And that whole opening sequence I've always liked because it is like a Bond opening sequence where it's like you're straight into the action and there's a big action set piece at the beginning, and like I've always thought that Batman was cool in that when he jumps out of the elevator and takes down all the goons. And he's got the gadgets, like the electrical, whatever that is that makes him go like that.
Oh, yeah. You know what I think, though, that we haven't discussed this and we should. A movie that does this kind of opening better is the Lego Batman movie. I think the opening to that is awesome. And it's kind of similar, but I think better.
Yeah, and it knows that it's making a joke. Where this one, it tries to be very serious at points as well. It's a weird blend, because at one point you're like laughing at how ridiculously goofy it is, and other points it's like my parents are dead, and like I tried to avenge them because I saw a bat in a cave, and like I'm having a scarred psyche moment.
Batman, and then that pops in there. It's and some of the choices Bruce Wayne makes are pretty dumb. Like he falls for all the traps, and again this whole like, oh, I love her. Like you've met her, you took her to the circus and you went to her office.
Yes,
and you're gonna tell her that you're Batman.
Yeah,
like you are broken.
But to be fair, she had just met him, and she was like, the first night, I'm ready to have sex on this rooftop. Here are my boobs. Yeah. Like, I've done my research, like, literally within 24 hours of meeting him. And I was like, damn.
But maybe that's her character. That's just how she rolls. We don't know.
She cuts straight to the chase.
Hey! There it is.
Yeah,
she's not about the chase. She just wants to immediately bang. That's it.
In the Batmobile, specifically, because they dig the car.
Yeah.
Women.
I think that pretty much sums it up. I just have some favorite sequences here. The intro sequence, like I said, oh no, it's boiling acid. Like all of that, I've always quoted. That security guard will live rent free in my head for many reasons. Like my shoes are melting, and like he's just so over the top.
Yeah.
Oh no! It's boiling acid!
I do think it's funny that when Two-Face crashes into the Statue of Liberty, he puts a steering wheel lock on a helicopter. Like,
yes, he does. Yeah.
Helicopters don't have a steering wheel.
That's
you
quite
can't
goofy.
Go up and down with a steering wheel.
Massive, like, bus wheel on your helicopter.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's true.
But there is a great part of that sequence where Batman shatters the glass with his ears, and he goes, "You need help, Harvey. Give it up."
You need help, Harvey. Give it up.
And like that is Batman. You know what I mean? Like, you need psychiatric help. Like, give it up. I'm going to take you to Arkham. Not, I'm going to kill you. I think that's a better way to Batman to approach things rather than let me just toss up a bunch of coins and watch you fall to your death. But I also like parts of the ending. Like, I do like him and Robin going to get the bad guys in the Batwing and the Batboat. And that's true. We talked about now I've thought about it, we talked about the Batmobile. What do you think of the Batwing and the Batboat in this?
Yeah, they're both cool. They fit. But again, it's, the Burton Batwing is just so cool.
It's so much cooler, yeah. And obviously we never saw a Batboat, but we saw the Bat ski boat or whatever in Returns, which
it was very similar. They were like the Batmobile, weren't they, from this? It was a similar style. I think it looks fine.
What do you suggest, Alfred? By sea or by air?
I didn't like the holy rusty metal line. I thought that was stupid.
Too much of a callback, yeah.
Too much. But yeah, I like bits at the end. I think I love the Riddler. And I also like him flapping in Arkham Asylum. I thought that was quite actually creepy.
Yes.
When he's Batman.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
I'm Batman.
What I liked is that, I mean, besides Two-Face dying, which I thought was silly, I did like how Nigma went to Arkham Asylum. You know, it was the first time where at the end of a Batman movie, I know Catwoman survived in Batman Returns, so I guess it's not the first time we've seen a villain live. But I like how we see a villain go to Arkham. You know, like that's their punishment. Like they're going and they're locked away. So yeah, I have respect for that. Yeah, the ending sequence has its moments. I mean, with the director's cut, apparently the I am Bruce Wayne and Batman makes a lot more sense because the scenes that were cut are all about like why he has to be Batman. So when he decides to quit, it has so much more weight to it because you've seen all these things that are leading up to it. Where in this, he's just kind of like, yeah, I love Chase, so I'm going to stop being Batman now, which is...
Yeah, it's really odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's odd. But the other thing that was big for me were the toys as a kid. Like, I had a shitload of these toys as a kid.
Yeah.
Perfect Age again. I mean, I had the Batmobile that lit up. I had the Batwing where you could take the wings off and it become a submarine, which it does in the movie. I had the Batboat. I had all the figures. I bought the shit out of this movie. I had the coffee mug with the Riddler logo around the bat signal, which I think is a really cool logo, by the way.
You were a spoilt brat like Robin.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I wasn't 28 though when I got these. I was 8.
Yeah, that works better. Yeah. The toys are very cool. I remember the Batman figure, like the silver suit. I think I had that figure.
Figure. The silver suit does nothing for me, by the way. I think it's silly. I think it's a really weird suit, and I don't know why, with its design, why it had to be silver. I mean, obviously, it's to sell toys. You need a different bat suit, and if you see it in the movie, then kids are more likely to buy it. I get that angle.
Yeah. And in the sizzling Batmobile, Batman lights it up on a drive for justice, making Two-Face pay twice the price. Heads, justice wins. Tails, evil loses. No question, it's Batman forever.
I get it. It was formative for you, this movie.
Yes, it was. Like, I like the suit chamber in the Batcave. Like, I've always loved that as well. I think that's cool. And I do think that sequence where Riddler blows up the Batcave is fun.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. Like it's a fun movie. It's. I much prefer it to Batman and Robin.
Me too.
That's a stupid movie.
Yeah,
this is fun. It's a bit too much fun, but it's fine. It's watchable.
Yeah,
it goes way too far in Batman and Robin. It all goes down.
It does, and that's where this film always has walked a fine line for me, and I think that's why I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Batman Forever, I would say, is my third favorite Batman film.
Okay.
Right now, it's always been Batman '89 and Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. Always switch for me as number 1 and number 2, and this follows as number 3 for me.
Wow.
Because I mean, other choices. What else do you have? I mean, we're not the biggest fans of the Batman, as we've established in our review.
No, The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, is always going. I mean, that's the big one that's missing from my top 3. And I like that movie a lot. I used to love it. There's been times where I revisit it and I'm like, yeah, I dig it. But I don't know, I think the nostalgia and the rewatchability of Batman Forever for me is what takes its place, because just like a Roger Moore James Bond, I know what to expect and I want a bit of fun. You know what I mean? Like the Dark Knight is just gritty and it's hard and it's like it's so earnest. Where this one is just like, it's a comic book movie. Let's have some fucking fun whilst we do this, you know?
Yeah, I don't like fun. So no, not for me. I want just darkness and horror. So pointless.
R. What's that stand for?
Ratchet.
Okay, so that concludes our Batman Forever review. I feel like I've covered as much as I could possibly think about, but I'm sure afterwards I'll be like, oh, I didn't talk about this, but that's just because this film always means a lot to me. But
strong coverage.
Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed that. Ben, next time, I picked Batman 89, and I know we've switched to Batman Forever because this film always kind of falls in the Halloween season for me because it's obviously featured in the movie, and I like it quite a bit. So that's why I thought we'd do this now. But I'm going to leave the next one up to you. Whenever you come back, what film would you like to review?
Well, it won't be Joker Part 2. I know that much.
Better not be Joker Part 1 either.
I don't know. Another live action. We haven't done 89, have we? And we haven't done any of the Ben Flecks.
No, we haven't done, and it doesn't have to be live action either, but we haven't done any of the Ben Afflecks. We haven't done 89.
Maybe we could do another animated.
We could do another animated.
We did The Dark Knight, didn't we?
The Dark Knight Returns, yeah. Yeah, there's other animated ones out there. There's also one you mentioned earlier, the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, let's do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do the Lego Batman movie
next.
Fun. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
cool. All right, I'm down with that. That'll be fun. Some lobster thermidors up in this beast. That'll be good.
Excellent. Yeah.
All right. If you enjoy this podcast, please be sure to leave us a 5-star review on whatever you're listening to us on right now, as it helps us back grapple up the charts and attract both new listeners and guests. And if you leave a review, we might read it out on the pod at the end of each episode. And please subscribe or follow us on your preferred podcast catcher of choice if you haven't yet already. And you can email us at batmantaspod@gmail.com or follow us on social media at batmantaspod on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere but the app formerly known as Twitter, which is at batmantaspod1. But that platform is garbage, and we don't go on there much, so I wouldn't bother. And in the description of this episode, you'll find a tip jar where you can gift us any amount of money you can afford to give if you so wish. As we aren't billionaire playboy philanthropists, any amount you can afford to give is not necessary, but always greatly appreciated. And finally, you can follow and listen to Ben's podcast, Watching Films on the Toilet. Ben, tell the folks at home where they can find it and what it's all about.
You can find it anywhere you find podcasts, and it's me and my pal Eamon, a couple of dads chatting about movies we've watched on the toilet because you can't watch them with our little kids. So that is it. Lovely call to action there, Alex. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Very nice.
The Joker 2 review that you did, everybody should check that out because
check that out.
Stuff.
We don't talk about the movie much, but
why would you want to?
It was good fun. Why would we want to? Yeah, we didn't. Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the time we've got for this week. Join us next time where we'll continue talking all things Batman on the big screen. Lego Batman is next. Until then, I've been Alex Robson.
I've been Ben.
And remember, the most important thing to know in life is chicks dig the car.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that is true.
Bye.
Bye.